Bubble boy.
Yeah.
Bubble boy. It's incorrect. Has to take steroids.
If there's one set of fans I would not with, it's the Bills.
Children, please, you got a whole life.
Yeah.
Let's buckle up here.
All I want for Christmas is for LeBron James and Serena Williams to have a baby.
Yo.
For science. Basketball.
She must have been on suicide watch when she saw Gronk dent that. We're all going to die.
Smash that like button or I'm going to get kicked out of the house. I can't pay rent.
Pushing Peas was definitely positive.
It's pushing positivity.
I don't. Oh my god. That's what
I am gonna
push. Is that who did it?
It is him and Young Thug.
Oh, me and Young Thug go way back.
Did you also get arrested?
Not that way back. A little after.
Oh, okay. All right.
It was in between. This orange juice is not good. Welcome back to Sports on Tap. I'm your host James Lane, my co-host Ryan Fahey.
Sup?
Oh, and not our co-host Kyle. He's busy.
Oh.
He just forgot that we record at the same time every day of the week.
He's getting puss. He's getting puss. Future me, he's getting puss. He chose puss over future you. Don't you forget it.
Gonna bleep so many things. Whatever. But let's get right into it. Gotta talk NBA Finals once again. Game 1.
I mean, gotta. What else is happening?
Aaron Donald got an extension for 2 years, $60 million. Shocker, the Rams somehow are paying everyone again. But let's get into the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
We've gone over it. The Rams have a secret bank that we don't know about.
Yeah.
But the NBA Finals, Game 1, really for me, I was just like, oh, cool. The Celtics are showing real championship traits. They aren't relying on their man, Jason Tatum, who kind of just the bed right at the beginning there.
Points-wise.
Yeah, points. I'm not, yes, but that's what we paying for, really, to be that guy. Great to see the team come back from a double-point or double-digit deficit.
Yep.
Awesome.
40 to, what,
11?
16?
16?
40,
It was
16?
It was the largest point differential
in the fourth quarter?
or any quarter in the NBA Finals,
Yeah.
which is awesome. I was like, cool, get one on the road. That's awesome. I thought they were going to lose by 20.
Yeah, we both thought that.
So we were close. We were
Yeah.
just one game off.
Yeah.
Game 2, absolute dog water of a game.
Third quarter on.
Yes. I will get into but I have a problem with the refs in the NBA, but I'll get into that in a second. Even if the refs officiated better, the amount of turnovers lost in that game.
Oh, 100%.
Without a doubt. So I'm not even going to blame Game 2 on the refs because that's not fair at all when you have, 15, 16 turnovers
Around there,
that led to 33 points.
Yep.
You deserve to lose that game.
100%.
Yes.
Yep.
But the officiating. I want to get into the officiating. When Jaylen Brown doesn't touch a guy jumping in the air and gets called for a foul, what else is he supposed to do? You can clearly see Jaylen Brown getting out of the way. He just like, whoa, you know what? I'm not getting this, so why would I get a foul? And the refs were just like, Jaylen.
The only contact that was there was the back of Gary Payton's foot hitting the back of Jaylen Brown's calf.
Soft. It was soft.
It's not even a foul.
But then I want to fast forward it, and actually I saw you tweet this. Daniel Tice took a UFC elbow, and there was nothing.
Dude!
Call the game one way or the other. If you're going to let him play, that's awesome. Let him play. If you're not going to let him play, don't let either team play.
Well, here's the thing. They were letting... I really... Because, I mean, the turnovers, everything, they deserve to lose that game, but letting one team be as physical as they want, it doesn't help.
Ridiculous.
It doesn't... Draymond... There was one play where he tried to set a screen for Steph, and he technically did, and he basically hooked. I forget who he hooked, but he just, again, grabbed the guy's arm and just, kind of pulled him like this. He couldn't get it over to Steph. Now, it's Steph shooting a three. He's probably going to make it anyway. But
I get that.
Get a hand in his face, and it's different.
But what about the play when he turned into a Pro Bowl fullback and just pushed, 3 Celtics players?
And a foul on Grant Williams on that play.
And it's like, you know what? I like the more physical basketball, and I'm okay with that. But you have to let both teams do it. I cannot stand the officiating in the NBA. I think it's the worst out of all of the leagues. It is garbage. It's so inconsistent on how they make calls. And I get it. Not everything's going to be perfect. But when Jaylen Brown doesn't touch a guy and there's no foul, and Draymond Green can literally set probably one of the best blocks in the NFL, what are we doing? And once again, I'm not trying to say, the Celtics should have won Game 2. They played bad.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
The amount turnovers alone,
100%.
we're on the same page. They deserve to lose that game.
But it was also clear that they couldn't have the Celtics go 2-0 at Golden State. They came in and set that tone. Like, just with the calls, oh, God, it was so egregious, some of them. Like, the Jalen one was bad. The one that was really bad to me was the taking away tech on Jordan Poole, where it was, like, Derek White, like, basically was, like, going over the top of him, and Poole put his hands up and grabbed him.
I'll let you finish.
The Celtics were in transition offense at that point. Like, taking the ball down, and they stopped it and called a tech on Poole, which I agree with the call, because he reached up and grabbed it. They go, oh, he's protecting himself. I'm sorry. I've never seen a guy protect himself by putting his arms up. If you're going to protect yourself, you cradle. You duck in. Like, you're taking, like, he went like this. He did the same thing in the Grizzlies series. Go back and watch. Same thing. It's not protecting yourself. Like, what are you protecting doing this? Nothing. Your face is still there. What is this?
For me,
he grabbed his knee.
See, I disagree a little. I know what you're saying, where it's like instinctively you're going to go like this. I was not terribly upset with that call. The only reason I am is because we were not allowed to get away with anything.
Well, no. I'm more upset with it because we were in transition offense, and then that stopped the play, and then you just took away the tech, which means now you can't take away the tech in that point because you took away our offensive momentum, and now we get no points out of it. Who knows if we would have got a point points on that run?
Right.
But you can't. And in that situation, that's not Jordan Poole's second tech.
I just want to make sure that people can hear you, Ryan.
I'm yelling enough.
Good, I know, but I just want to make sure.
They can't take away that tech and then have the Celtics not get any points in that scenario.
See, I know what you're getting at, and I think in the long haul of things, it didn't lose them the game, and we're agreed on that point.
No, yeah.
But how inconsistently can these refs get away with it?
Also,
I just think it is so, and we've talked about it for years, at least a lot this year. I feel like it is just so inconsistently called from game to game. Do they have the same staff do the whole series, or is it changed from game to game?
It changes game to game. But once I saw Tony Brothers on the staff, I was like, we're gonna be in for a night.
I feel like it should be the same officiating staff for the whole finals. I think it would be.
Well, I'm saying as in it's not like.
Oh no! I think it should be so the players can at least understand. So for the finals, they can kind of play towards the way they know the refs are officiating. If it's we can't be as physical with these guys, so now we have to learn how to. For this series, we can't be as physical. Or they let us play, then we're gonna play. Where when you're switching at every game, and maybe it's because they're trying to avoid guys rigging it or something like that, or. If it is a really just shitty crew, then you're not stuck with it for a 7-game series.
Do you want to know how bad those refs were? Ime got a tech for yelling at him.
Yeah, I was shook by that.
Ime never. I mean, I've seen him get mad, at his own team. I have never seen him go at the refs like that. He called one of them a pussy and a bitch.
No way.
I read his lips. It wasn't like yelling at him, but like he was like something like he didn't exaggerate it.
See, Ryan can't smell, so his other senses are heightened.
I watched it. I was like, he just called someone a pussy and a bitch, and he was looking down the court. I mean, Draymond was right there next to him, and I saw Draymond walking over, so if it was towards him, I feel like he would have looked at him, but like
Draymond would have said something.
But, dude, if Ime's getting on you, you guys are doing bad. You guys are doing a bad job. That's the way I look at it.
Well, this is exactly the point I've brought up in the past, where it's like that crew was so inconsistent and bad. If anybody came out and said something about it, then they get fined.
Yep.
It's situations like this that I cannot stand. Once again, in the long run, the Celtics lost the game. The refs, I do believe, had an impact at some point, but you lost by 20-something. You were down by 30.
But until the collapse, it helped the Warriors stay in the game. 100%.
It definitely helps.
Yeah.
I agree. And there's always a what if, like we've said before. If one little thing changes, it changes the whole butterfly effect of everything.
Yeah.
So you never truly know, but I think overall we are on the same page of that. I am happy, though, that they won one on the road.
That's the only thing you can take away from this. Your goal was to split.
You had to. Because if you go down 2-0
Not
to the
way
Warriors.
I wanted it to happen, but bringing it down to it. you split in Golden State,
That's
and
huge.
now you have home court.
That is huge.
Humongous.
So now but even this postseason, they've been better on the road, which I'm hoping that if they have to go back to Golden State up 3-1, I think we've got it. I think we've got it in the bag. I think without a doubt we have it in the bag. But I'm also not confident that they will win the next two, just because home court advantage does not really seem to be a big thing for Boston this year.
That's weird.
But then again, being away doesn't seem to affect them either. It seems very neutral. It doesn't seem to affect them. I'm still a believer in this team.
Yep.
I don't think they're going to let this one loss get them. I think, they have yet to have bad back-to-back games, like we've said before. Game 1 was a great win, even though Tatum sucked, scoring-wise. Game 2, the whole team was just out of sorts. Al didn't shoot until the third quarter. That's a problem. They're going to go back and look at this game and go, hey, we need to, first off, Marcus Smart needs to not throw the ball 3 feet in front of everyone he's passing to.
Yep.
Jaylen Brown needs to learn how to handle the ball when driving through the lane.
Well, it's not just that. Like, Jaylen ended up getting cold. And the thing is...
I thought he was putting up 50.
100%. I did too. The thing is about that's the difference between Jaylen and Jason right there. Because when Tatum was cold, he knew it. Like, you could see it in his face. He was still kind of shooting, but he knew it wasn't his night. And then he went out and put up the most assists in your NBA Finals debut in NBA history with 13. Jaylen's the type to shoot himself out of the coldness.
Agreed.
You got to recognize, you're frozen. Like, you were hot, and then you got into foul trouble, and then it kind of took away your momentum. You got to realize you ain't the guy right now. Like I know fourth quarter Jaylen in the first game was, maybe Michael Jordan-esque. That was
wild,
ridiculous. But when you're off, dude, you gotta find your other teammates. And I get honestly everyone but Tatum was off.
It was just such a bad night. Derek White couldn't even get his nice little floaters. Al wasn't in the paint.
Yeah,
Robert Williams
when
was
I saw
quiet.
White not hitting his floaters, I was like, oh boy, because that's usually
something's in the air.
That's usually cash.
Yeah, something's in the air if he's
But
missing those.
when 3 of your starting 5 combined for 6 points, it's a recipe for a disaster.
No.
100%.
I will say defensively in the first half, electric. The amount of blocks they had, I don't know what the actual stat was, but Derek White had 2 blocks.
6.
I would somewhere around there. Derek White had 2 blocks. I know Al had a block. I'm pretty sure Robert Williams had a block in the first half.
Had 2.
When did he have 2?
Maybe 3, to be honest with you.
But it was insane. So they were not letting layups happen. But man, just that third quarter, they collapsed.
The other thing that's hurting is Thompson hasn't been right these 2 games. At all. He had 15 the first game. I forget what he had this game.
Clay was so slow. You should not have lost by, 20-something when Clay had put up, 11 points?
Yeah. That's what I mean. You got to win. If the 2 of them are on, forget it.
We get that.
Forget it. But this is, you can't be getting cooked by, Jordan Poole. You can't be. He's got 2 moves. Don't let Jordan Poole do that.
I'm going to give Jordan Poole some respect, but for what this defensive team is, if Clay's off, then you should be focusing more on him, because Clay clearly was off last night. Was it last night? Yeah, last night.
And honestly, the game before too.
When Jordan Poole hit that third quarter buzzer
court,
beater, or was halftime, that half court shot, I was just like, we're done. It's over. It's their night.
It was 23 at that point.
But I was just like, maybe they have a crazy fourth quarter comeback. Once he drained, I'm like, nah. Yeah. I was like, nah, it's just, you know what, it's not our night, and that's okay. It's 1-1. I'm fine with that. We're going back to the Garden. You got to have that attitude, being like, hey, you know what? It's an even series. Now we just got to win. Just got to win at home.
You have
to win at home. That is it.
You got home court, man. You.
How do you cannot blow this? The only thing that's scary is the Warriors, like we said, are that team. They are those guys.
Yeah.
And TD Garden will not affect them. I really don't. I think as much as we say when they go over there, when Boston goes out west, it doesn't affect them. I think Golden State comes over here and says, it doesn't really affect us, because they are those guys.
I mean, maybe it does. Golden State's crowds, they're good, but some of the shots they were showing during the game, there's people with their phones, with their friends, oh, look at that. They I haven't heard anywhere as loud as the Garden. To be completely fair.
Now here's the question. When you say here, do you mean on TV?
Yes.
Okay, because I thought you meant being there, because I would say, how many places have you been? But if you're talking about off the TV, then that's different.
Off the TV, it's like...
It's a bunch of degenerates.
Exactly.
I will say, though,
once... fuckers from Southie going there like, Jalen! Just...
They're like, the game hasn't started.
Yeah, it's like, you're outside, sir.
Sir, this is a scalper.
Sir, you're at the Hurricane Bar right now. Like, you're not even like in the stadium. He's like, I didn't even get a ticket. What are you yelling for? I'm excited.
I'm so excited.
That's the passion.
I will say you get less and less of those once you get to these, because tickets, like, I was looking it up, the cheapest ticket at TD Garden is like $650.
I know, but it's weird though. Even like the people on the side, like the baseline, like all of them, like they get into it at the Garden. Like that's where I was seeing that phone thing happening. Yeah. It was behind the hoop like that. I was like,
it's also, I think, the West Coast compared to the East Coast. Like, there's guys from Boston where even when they're famous, don't get me wrong, they're more uppity. Yeah. But it's more still like Southie vibes. And I get it's not true Southie kind of vibes like those guys, but they're a little more down in the dirt kind of thing. And I'm not, once again, these are celebrities, so it's a different level. Right. It's different levels to this. But when you go out west, it's more that LA vibe. And I know it's not LA, but like,
yeah. Also, can someone tell me what Draymond has done in his career to get some of the calls he's getting?
He won Defensive Player of the Year once.
So he just gets calls?
Yes.
No.
I'm just letting you know that.
No, I know, but no. He's getting superstar calls sometimes.
It's because he's part of a dynasty and he's part of the big three. Because he is their Rodman. Their wannabe Rodman. No, he's always wanted to be Rodman. Actually, you hear him talking shit to Grant Williams. He's like, "You're not me." I'm like, "Yeah, good. You're kind of an asshole."
Bro, like,
at least on the court. I'm not saying off the court stuff. That's different.
Like, how he didn't get a second tech, that whole Jaylen Brown thing.
The NBA has a problem with that. Whenever they get after the first tech, it's just like, the second one has to be egregious.
You went and reviewed it, and you saw nothing wrong?
He ripped down his pants.
Go back to when they hit the floor. His foot,
my pants.
He put his foot on Jaylen Brown's head. And Jaylen Brown did this. Because, like, don't put your foot on my head.
Yeah.
No. It wasn't a great, he was like, dude, like, get off. And then he pushed him. Well, it wasn't like it was more of a, and then Jaylen didn't like it. Jaylen stood up, and then he tried to pull his pants down.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. He should have been ejected.
3! Right in a row. 3 things he did. He's like, you know what? We didn't see anything. I'm like, you didn't fucking see anything? What are we talking about? What do you mean? I'm like, dude.
It's going to be a dogfight this next game, though. Game 3. You know they're going to be going at him. You know they're going to put him in his ass. There was one play where Al got a foul, and I loved it because I'm pretty sure against Draymond, and he just put him on his ass. I don't remember if it was Draymond or not, but he just put him on his ass, being like, we can get physical if you want to do this. Old man strength, I will come in and do this. We're down by fucking 30. I don't care. Yeah. I will put you on your ass. I'm a grown man.
I left 10 seconds in my buddy's house 10 seconds into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, no, I was watching.
It was the turnover. I think it was a turnover, and then the shot went up, and then he got his own offensive rebound. I think next to Rob.
Rob was off. Rob's hurt. I think Rob's hurt.
And put it up for a layup.
I think Rob's hurt.
Right then, I was like, all right, I'm not doing this to myself. And then I left. But I think we might have a Marcus Smart problem happening.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Elaborate.
The end of the game in Game 1, we had that comeback. Marcus didn't touch the floor, besides for a few minutes. At the end of it, you could see him on the side. Like, people would be like, oh, Marcus is locked in. Is he? Or is he pissed? Oh, no, because, like, he was on, after the game ended, he's, like, still standing there, like, mean mugging. And people are like, oh, he's locked in.
No.
And I want to be like, or is he mad? Or is he mad he didn't really see the floor? Because Pritchard was on the floor and we were rolling.
And like, and Marcus is a big part of this team. Like, he's a defensive guy, and he's become a better facilitator. But God, last night
Last
sucked.
night was bad.
He sucked, and he couldn't. And I know he's not known for scoring, but like, God, he sucked that too.
In the play where he hurt Rob, what are you doing?
The whole team was out of sorts.
Well, it wasn't just that. Why are you not throwing the... Rob's by himself. Why are you not throwing the lob? That's the most... those two, that is the most unstoppable play in basketball between those two. What are you doing?
Look at every decision Marcus Smart made last night. And once again, it's not just him. I'm not saying he is the reason they lost. But he could not just make the correct pass, or he couldn't make an accurate pass. Do we know how many turnovers he had?
I don't even want to look.
I know it wasn't good, but I just know distinctively seeing 2 where he literally was off by 3 feet. I'm like, what was that? I'm like, Marcus, you are a better passer.
This is how you know. This is how you know he's playing bad. I was at my friend Alex and Bree's house, and Bree, she's watched like every game with us. Really, she doesn't really care about basketball that much, but she'll watch and get engaged. Even she, was yelling at the TV, going, "Marcus, what are you doing?"
When you have the average fan, the average fan.
I'm saying she's an average fan.
Good for her.
Yeah, she's one of those Derek White's so cute. She's one of those.
You know, okay.
Yeah. But she's one of those. She's one of those fans. But even she was on Marcus Smart's ass. That's how bad he was.
When you have people that don't know the sport that well, and they're being like something, they can even be like, "This is wrong. This is incorrect." That's when you know it's like, dude, you're having a bad game.
It was a complete 180 from game 1. Tatum was scoring and hitting almost everything, and I was like, I was seeing
and I really thought he was going to be able to do that. I thought the team was going to carry with that.
Exactly, and then it just everyone else fell at the face of the earth, and then for some reason, we weren't getting him the ball.
He needs to demand it sometimes. He needs to know when to demand the ball, because there are times, like you said, when he's out, when he's off, he doesn't try to shoot himself out of it. He becomes more of a facilitator. Clearly, game 1 was the extreme version of that, and that's great. But it's like, dude, you are our guy. You are the superstar. Sometimes you should try shooting out of it. If it's not working and we are down by 20, dude, demand the damn ball.
It wasn't even like he was off. He just wasn't getting the ball anymore.
I don't know why he doesn't demand it, because I know
he could go towards the ball. I get that, but these other guys, you have to know you're also off, because we can see it, and you're playing. You know if you're off, and you know that your guy has been on all game outside the first 5 minutes of the first quarter.
Yep. Give it to him.
Find him.
Give it to him now.
Find him. I don't care if he's in the corner. Give it to him and let him get out of it. Because if not, he's good enough, so if they double him, he's going to find the guy open.
Exactly. He's a good enough passer to do that. And you know what? If he passes to a wide open guy and they miss, that's not on him.
Live with that. Whatever.
Those are the shots you should be taking.
I'll be mad, but live with it.
Clearly.
It was open shot.
Clearly you're going to be mad, because in these games you should be making them. Derek White bricked one in the middle of the game where it was wide open. I'm like, Derek.
I know. And he's been so money these past 2 series as well.
I still have faith. I still have a lot of faith.
I do too.
If they can win back, if they can just finish this homestand, if they can just win at home, in the bag. You're up 3-1.
Me too.
There's
no shot the NBA doesn't let this go 7. That's the only problem.
I still believe.
I do too. I think Celtics in 7, but there's no shot they don't make it go 7.
I don't remember if I said Celtics in 6 or Celtics in 7.
Said 6.
Actually, I was walking through Worcester the other day, and I had a Celtics shirt on, and these kids they're like, "Oh, Celtics in 4." I'm like, "Nah, youngins, listen to me. You got to respect the Warriors. You guys barely even remember the Warriors, and this was only 2015, this dynasty when it started. I'm like, you got to respect them." They're like, "Nah, Celtics in 4." I'm like, guys, you just got the training wheels off. Let's relax. I told them season 6, so I'm gonna ride that wave.
That's fair.
I mean, because if it goes out this way, you win these 2 at home, you lose on the road, and you win it. Imagine if they won in the Garden.
Please.
Electric. I mean, I won't be there, but I'll get to watch it.
Yeah.
It'll be sick. But yeah, when these kids were just like, "Oh, season 4," I'm like, you guys have never seen it.
I know.
I'm like, do you understand how hard that is to do? Oh. Do you?
Sorry, no, my neck hurt.
Oh, okay. I was like, do you?
Stretching her out.
I was like, do you understand how hard it is to actually sweep anyone in the playoffs in general?
Yep.
That's not easy.
Not at all.
It was just funny seeing these young fans, and I applaud like them being fans and being excited because I mean we grew up with the Patriots in that aspect, so it was cool. But yeah, that's all I got.
That's all you got? Anything happened at work today?
I can't talk about it.
No?
So,
For the love of God, please tell the story.
so it's kind of sad, but it's also a little funny. And
It's very funny.
so I work at a rental car place, and
Leave it at that.
this elderly couple comes in. Really, really nice, sweet people. Off the rip, I can tell the wife, unfortunately, has Alzheimer's or dementia or some form of this, and it is very sad because I've lived that life. I know how it is. It is not fun.
Mm-hmm.
So then my manager comes in and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna rent you the car," and I kind of just talked to her while the husband could actually rent the car, and that's awesome.
Yeah, repeating. Yep.
And then all of a sudden she just looks down and goes, "Oh, what a mess!" Like looks down at her feet, and I just look down, and all of a sudden,
Oh my God.
just there's a lot of brown stuff down her legs and on her feet, and in my mind I'm just thinking, please be mud. Please be mud. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, because one, that's just like, that's a lot. I was like, maybe they were gardening. And in my mind, I was like, I know for a fact it's not mud. Nobody's making a big deal of it. My manager can't even tell because there's a desk. So I'm like, I'm not going to make a big deal of it because that's like, that's a lot that's going on right now.
Yeah.
And her husband is there and kind of notices, and he's like, I'm not going to make a big deal of it. Clearly, he has had situations like this happen. I feel for him, but in hindsight, it's a little bit of a funny story. The story gets funnier, though. She, once again, she's not all there, unfortunately.
Yep.
And she's like, oh, what a mess. And, like, sticks her fingers down there.
Just checking the oil.
And it's on her leg. And her husband, while trying to rent a car, keep a straight face, is like, hey, honey, let's not do that. I will say no smell, so that was good. So it didn't draw attention, because I don't like to draw attention to these moments, because that's not very fair to them. But in my story, it's funny. But like so she stops playing with it, and he's like, "Oh, they got to go inspect the car when they go to rent it." I'm like, "Great, awesome." So she's just kind of, but then she gets up. My manager, this is the moment he realizes something has happened, and she walks away. It's once again, pants. Like there's a mess. It's quite plainly obvious there's a mess, and on the seat there's also, it looks like somebody just rubbed dirt right on it, which is once again. It is, I feel so bad, and clearly, not going to make a big deal of it, not going to make a big deal. But what I am thinking, so what I do at this place is clean the cars and vacuum them and get them ready. And as they're going to check out the car, I'm like, this lady cannot sit in the car. I'm like, I do not get paid enough to clean human fecal matter. I just do not. I'm sorry, I do not. As much as I feel for them, $15 an hour is not enough. I would need a raise. I did feel for this lady because she got a little lost and she like kept noticing that she made a mess. It gets a little worse though. So then there's one point she comes back to the seat and she's like, "Oh my God," and sticks her hand down on the chair where there is a mess. And she's like, "Oh," I'm like, "No, ma'am." Once again, trying not to make a big deal of it because I don't want anyone to be embarrassed. And once again, this woman was such a sweet, happiest lady I've ever seen in my life, especially with these circumstances going on.
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, ma'am, you don't want to do that." So she stopped.
Yeah.
Luckily, there wasn't like it once again looked like somebody just took dirt and rubbed it. So it's like nothing major. She still did it though, and then she started touching the desk that we work at. I'm like, "Ma'am, you need to stop." And like she didn't go crazy, but like she touched a little, and I was like, "Please stop," because I kept trying to like, "Oh, your husband's waiting, might get in the car ready," and God bless this man, God, because like that is a lot to take in.
Yeah.
What I was happiest about though, so we got the keys for the rental car, and they walked out and went to his car. Because I looked at my boss and I was like, "Buddy, I was trying to not like signal to you that she cannot ride in this car." And he goes, "I didn't even realize at first." And he's like, "Did she just like go number one?" I'm like, "No, it's the full load." I'm like, "Don't sit down." I'm like, "We need to figure out." I was like, "You know what? At most I will power wash the seat, but that's not going to be enough." He goes, "No, we're throwing it away." So I then had to find where the dumpster was, and I had to go talk to the people that actually worked at this place, that actually like owned the building. And I was like, "Hey, do you have a dumpster?" And they're like, "What do you need the dumpster for?" I'm like, "Well, unfortunately, we just had older woman. Crap right here. And we need to throw the chair out. And they're like, oh my God, yeah, just like it's right over there.
Yeah.
So then I had to carry. I was like, you know what? My buddy, my manager, was like, I'm going to throw this out. I will throw this out.
Yeah.
You got to deal with people all the time. I can deal with this chair. So now we only have one chair. But that is okay. That was my day today at one of my jobs.
I mean,
handled
thank God it was at the end of your shift, right?
No. No, it was maybe 10 a.m. I had not even gotten my coffee for the day. It was highlight of my day, though. Highlight of my day. Once again, God bless these people, because that is not an easy thing. But a little bit of a story. Maybe too soon, too late. I don't know. But yeah, I will say, I've never seen a customer so happy to rent a car.
Yeah, because she just pooped herself.
Oh my God!
I feel so good after a poop.
What a wonderful lady.
Whew.
I did feel for the husband though, because he's like sorry, and I was like, okay, I'm glad you at least noticed, because I'm like, I'm not gonna ask you to clean this up, sir, because like this is a story I get to tell you. This is your wife. You now go home with. So it's like I feel for you.
God.
But good story to tell. So that was my day. Once again, I get paid $15 an hour.
Not enough for that.
Not enough for that one thing. Hilarious. But also I feel for them. But okay. Do you have anything else? Did anything at work happen to you to that extent?
Fucking the guy pee himself in line. There was just pee on the floor. And my manager looked down.
No way.
My manager looked down, looked at me, and I looked down, looked at him. He just looks at me and goes, yeah. And
no way this happened today.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Not today. Well, you did it.
I was going to be like,
imagine my customer won, your customer won too.
I would have been
wild.
I would have been like, no way.
He was like, yeah, that happened. I'm like, it seems like a job for you, Tom. I don't know about you, but that seems like a you thing. I'm like,
do I look full time?
I was like,
do I look like I do full
time? I was
time?
like, Tom, this man went pee on the ground.
I will say, disinfected everything, by the way.
Yeah, no, I would have just set the cubicle on fire, but that's fine.
No, I did some disinfectant. It's all good. It's clean. We also ate lunch at that table later that day.
Fuck, okay. You ruined the story for me. No, just go.
Thanks for joining us here at Sports on Tap today. If you like what we're doing, please comment, share, like, tell your friends. Peace out.